welcome to Newsclick. Today we are going to discuss about various reforms that have been imposed on Delhi University since last 4-5 years. The recent one being choice-based credit system. To discuss about the issue, we have with us Abha Dev Habib, who is an Executive Council member of Delhi University. Hello Abha.
Hello. Hi.
We have recently seen in the newspapers that 30 teachers union of various colleges along with the Teachers Association of Delhi University has passed a resolution against the choice-based credit system. So what is this choice-based credit system? Why have this teachers union decided to oppose it?
November onwards, we started getting circulars from UGC and MHRD saying that all central universities should implement choice-based credit system from the academic session 2015-16. And in February, they had uploaded a document proposal on choice-based credit system, which said that we want choice-based credit system, which will use semester system, which will have cafeteria approach, and which will use credit transfer between various institutions. MOUs should be signed, and there should be a credit transfer, and student can build their degrees. And they wanted a uniform grading system. Subsequently, on 10th April, they have uploaded a structure of choice-based credit system, and they have given syllabi of 19 courses. They have asked universities to respond within 15 days. So our opposition is on the following counts. One is that it is not for the UGC to dictate terms in this manner, to make a structure and syllabi for the universities. It is for the universities to draft their own course curriculum and syllabi. The UGC can maintain standards, and there are provisions to maintain standards, but it cannot convert universities into factory outlets of a company. This is like taking away academic autonomy of the universities, and we cannot stand this kind of dilution of the universities. This also means that now onwards there will be no contribution of the teachers in policy making. The second thing is that if they implement a uniform course curriculum, then basically what is happening is that they are not taking into account diverse nature of universities, the diverse population they cater to, and a uniform curriculum will basically will not benefit the students of various states and all. So, because readings of a subject and all should vary and will vary from region to region, and this should be honoured by the UGC. The third important thing is that they are making an assumption that semester system is working well, whereas we have many feedbacks are now there in the public domain. Delhi University student teachers have always said that semester system is not working well. We are 1.5 lakh students in regular courses. With semesterization of undergraduate courses, we are spending more time in examination rather than teaching learning process. It has also taken away opportunity from students to do in-depth study or do self-study, and the subsequent exam reforms only diluted the academic standards. This has also been experience of say Kerala universities. It has also been experience of Madhya Pradesh universities, and all these documents are in the public domain. Therefore, we demand that before UGC moves ahead and brings a structure which uses semester system, it should first review semester system and also review choice-based credit system wherever it was implemented. Another thing is this whole thing of cafeteria approach. On paper it looks very good, however the reality is that because there is a cap on infrastructure in terms of both classroom, labs and teachers, the number of choices which a university can really offer, a college can really offer, are limited. And when they offer or honour students' choices, first choices, as was done in DC2 of FYUP, we saw that it couples the choices to the market. The market starts determining the choices students will make, and therefore what happens is that basic fundamental sciences, humanity courses take a beating, and the few students who want to do these courses are then denied the opportunity, because once again there is a limited number of rooms available and limited number of teachers to a particular college. The third thing is credit transfer, and we see that in credit transfer basically the government wants the public funded universities to start signing MOUs with other institutions, and here I will want to say that both Central Universities Act 2009 as well as Central Universities Bill 2013, which the current government is also pushing, say that you sign MOUs with the institution, but they do not limit it to the public funded universities. So one, we want to know what will happen to reservation, we want to understand the fee structure, and this will only create, in our opinion, disparity amongst education qualification which people can earn, and it will really depend on how much money they can spend. Also, credit transfer will mean, both cafeteria approach and credit transfer will mean that the workload of teachers will keep fluctuating, and we already see that in universities more than 40%, 50% are ad hoc teachers. We will not, universities will stop drawing talent if teachers are here to remain ad hoc for many years. Even the UGC says that there are 3 great disadvantages in implementing these schemes. One is that if we go to grading system, then to convert it completely to marks is not possible. One particular digit you want, that you will not get. The second is that workload of teachers will fluctuate, and the third thing is that infrastructure is not ready. So if the infrastructure is not ready, and if this cannot be quality change, it should not be rushed.
You have been talking about how UGC has been asking about sending the feedbacks. When we talk specifically in the case of Delhi University, there is no proper structure which is even visible on Delhi University's website, or which has been issued by Delhi University, which tells about how this entire course will be, the choice based credit system will be.
Yeah, exactly.
But they have again and again been saying that this will lead to better mobility chances for students, they can migrate to good colleges. So what do you have to say about it?
Yeah, a very important question, Pranjal. The first thing is that if you are saying that this has to be implemented in 2015-16, this actually means that the UGC, MHRD is not giving universities enough time to hold their statutory consultative processes through statutory bodies, apply their mind, collect feedback. And in Delhi University, we have also seen that this only meant that after November notifications, the Vice Chancellor had set a 8-member committee in month of December, and he brought this as a reporting item in the Academic Council. Whereas the Academic Council should discuss whether we are ready for such a reform, what does this reform really mean for us. No such discussion was ever held and has not been held till today. And today the UGC has given only 15 days, which again means that no consultative process in any of the universities can be held. So in some way you are forcing the universities to betray their own acts and ordinances and bring about a reform. The next thing which you have asked is about mobility, and there is much hangama which is made of this mobility. I want to ask this question, that can Kalindi College student come to Miranda House Physics Department? The answer is yes, provided we have a seat. So seat is very important because there is a cap, and we get the number of students, the infrastructure, the money we can get is per student, and if the seats are we do not expand. If the seats are constant and they are full, we cannot take any new student. And similarly, Motilal Nehru College can go to KM College. The answer is same, provided they have requisite marks and they have seat. The answer is that colleges are overburdened right now, over admission takes place, and anyway after OBC expansion, the infrastructure development which should have been there is not in place even today, and we are panting for space and time. The next thing is, can Allahabad student come to Delhi University? The answer is yes, they can, and equivalence will be set. They will be told to do some extra courses, some papers, and they can take admission, but again provided that we have seats. So when they are talking about mobility, therefore we come to a conclusion that they are not looking at this kind of mobility. What they are really looking at is whether we can sign MOUs with the private players, both domestic and foreign, and can our students for one semester, for a paper or 2 papers go there. And this is basically the concept of Meta College, Meta University, which was also floated by Kapil Sibal for following higher education summits in America with Hillary Clinton. So this is not a new concept, and in fact in Delhi University there are 2 courses which are being run on the scheme. Which one is BTech Humanities, which was subsequently, because of the UGC's intervention, named as BA Honours in Humanities and Social Sciences, and we have MTech in Mathematical Innovations. So the MTech course is being run by Cluster Innovation Center at DU, the CIE, Department Education Department in DU and Jamia Millia. Now this is a collaboration between public funded universities, therefore we can still take we can deal with reservation and money as fees structure aspect, but I do not understand what will happen if we start signing MOUs with the private players and then ask students to move for a semester or 2 semester there. Also these are courses which are small. The student strength in these courses is very small and maybe it is doable, but if we look at a large scale kind of implementation of the same scheme, I do not think that it can work out well, because once again you have timetable constraints and so on and so forth.
You have been talking about reservation and the fee structure. We have seen OBC expansion in Delhi University itself, and recently in last year government has issued a paper on the name of Dinesh Singh that he has diverted those funds for alluring people to come and be part of FYUP, so that they can show that it's a good project that we have brought in. So I mean, the basic question of basic infrastructure, equal standard for all the people have not been getting books in various different languages itself in Delhi University. So don't you think these questions are something getting left behind while we are just focusing on to run behind the market oriented course structures, market oriented subjects?
Yes, in fact I want to say that there are 3 basic questions in front of higher education or in front of education, and that is quality, of equity and massification. We want to reach out to as many people as we want, and it is unfortunate to see that the UGC document is completely silent on how they think that choice based credit system can enhance quality, or it will cater to equity or massification. And if you ask me, then in last 7-8 years the best reform which really happened to the universities was OBC expansion, where we expanded the universities after several years, and both in terms of student intake and teacher intake the number had to go up to 1.5 times. But today what we see is that instead of catering and making this reform really a workable reform, what has happened is that UGC, the university administration, has not paid any interest, has not enforced colleges to develop infrastructure. There are problems because MCD is not giving approval, or the colleges do not have space, and as a result the infrastructure expansion which should have happened has not happened. And this is also true that the Vice Chancellor, the RTI responses showed that the Vice Chancellor had diverted approximately 170 crore money fund which was meant for OBC expansion, for infrastructure development, for hiring teachers and all, to buying laptops in FYUP.
Delhi University has also again been in various news for its Vice Chancellor's autocratic approach. We have seen the students movement, the teachers movement losing their space, the space for democracy shrinking. And do you think these courses will lead to more intensified efforts on part of the university authorities and part of the state to curb these voices of dissent?
Actually, I see a direct correlation between this curbing dissent, this tendency to have governed the universities in this particular manner, and the reform, the restructuring, I do not consider them as reforms, but the restructuring which the government and which the Vice Chancellors therefore want to implement. And I see that after semesterization, when they floated the idea of semesterization, and colleges were asked to send feedback, and when they sent frank feedback, that feedback was put in a dustbin. And after that, DUTA has been a target of Vice Chancellors, misgovernance, and this kind of curbing democratic spaces, this assault on democratic spaces, and targeting dissenters. This became a trend in the university because they did not want teachers to build opinion and take that opinion to the public domain against the reforms. And we saw that this whole tendency increased during FYUP struggle, and even now I think once again when the UGC will force any such reform, it can come only if you will target dissenting voices, because otherwise the teachers are going to and will, and I hope, my hope lies in the fact that even when there was a onslaught on democratic spaces, the teachers movement and the student movement continue to demand that the education system should be such that it delivers and what it the promises have been made to the youngsters.
Thank you, Abha, for giving us your time, and we'll be coming back to you on such issues as the things proceed. Thank you for coming to Newsclick. Thank you for watching Newsclick.